Hello and welcome back to ReveloGM Games. I'm ReveloGM and this is our second week of RPGaDay 2024, hopefully releasing on the 8th, but I've technically got a whole week span where I can get it out, so if it's a bit later, it'll still be within the week that it relates to, so it's fine. Welcome back, RPGaDay 2024. If you haven't checked out the first video, check that out for a bit of an explanation of what this is, and for my thoughts on the first 7 days. Was supposed to be 6, why not doing 7? Because I forgot. Supposedly going to do 6 today, which will be 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. What are those two first screen days for? They're for Gen Con, Winslinger pointed out. The first 4 days even, which is cool. So yeah, now you know, now I know. Thanks for the heads up. So yeah, we had our first 7 days last time. They were easy for the most part, and quite interesting. A couple of them were a bit more head-scratchy and a bit more vague, but still meant they were quite interesting to speculate and think about. So moving on this time, we have day number 8 with an accessory you appreciate. So thinking of this as being, you know, a kind of thing that you have that you use in your TTRPGs, you know, a dice tower, something like that, potentially a GM screen. I have an awful lot of GM screens, and that's pretty cool, but at the same time I see that screen is one later on, so I'm not going to use screen right now. There's also gadget later on, and apps, so like accessory, I guess maybe accessory is more something that's just cool, that's not necessarily got a mechanical purpose, it's just something pretty neat. Which I feel like I have distinctly less of those. I like my things that do things. But I did get with actually the version of Outgunned that I got, which I'm yet to play, a pencil, which is like kind of the, you know, the John Wick killed 3 men in a bar with a pencil idea, I think. Which I have to check it, but it says, you know, break this pencil to give you a +1 on your next roll or something. And obviously I'm not going to break the pencil, but it's a cute idea, and it's a nice reference back to that, and that's a lot of fun. And it's quite a nice pencil. I accidentally did some writing with it once, and I was like, what's this nice pencil? And then checked which pencil it was, and was like, oops, didn't mean to use that, I'm not going to use that again. So yeah, probably that. I'll try and snap a picture of it, or find one. It's for Outgunned, which is a game I'll cover on Weekend One Shots one day once I have played it, which I have not yet. So day 9 is an accessory you would like to see. That is certainly tricky. More so just because, again, I'm not really an accessory guy. They're not really a thing that I do. So I'm not really sure what I would say for this. I don't know. I guess I would probably quite like, and this, you know, may exist on Etsy or something actually, but I think it would be kind of cool for like Call of Cthulhu to have like a counter for like luck and sanity. I suppose you could do magic points if you used them as well. But that kind of idea. Just so you've got something to in real time do that. I am now just having a quick look at if these things do exist. Sure enough, they do. That one's for Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, and those things. Health, sanity. Okay, yes, those kind of things do kind of exist, but it would be cool to get a more. They're largely for Arkham Horror, but no, this one here I found one. Okay, well, hey. It's an accessory I'd like to see, and I've seen it, I guess. That's pretty cool, but you know, pretty unique. Yeah, hey, that's cool. I do appreciate that. That's a really neat idea. But maybe some variant ideas, because this way of doing it is pretty cool, but I'd like to see other ways of doing it. sanity counter and magic counter and stuff. Those tangible little extra bits. Oh, actually, I do know something I'd like to see. I love the idea of those little vials you have for healing that you can get for like healing potions. You can quickly calculate it like that. You've got the vial in front of you and then you give it away when you've got it. Obviously, they're completely not needed, but I guess that's why it's an accessory. But I've always wanted one for Pathfinder because I don't do much 5e now and everything's a 5e. So yeah, something like that. I'm intending on making my own for Pathfinder DCC and that kind of stuff, and it's not got around to it yet because they all use different, die values. But yeah, so I guess again, there's 2 answers for you for the 9th. Number 10 is an RPG you would like to see on TV. I mean, there's so many answers here. Some of the answers are things that don't count because they've already come from TV, I think my answer for this one, and quite possibly the next one, are going to be quite similar. Call of Cthulhu. I'd like to see some Call of Cthulhu stuff on TV. And I do largely say this in part because I have been recently watching Bookstores of Arkham, I think it's called. I'll pin it or link it or whatever, which is an actual play put on by Chaosium a year or 2 ago. In Lovecraftian bookshops of Arkham. It's actually on Chaosium's YouTube channel and everything. You can go there and watch the whole thing for free. The sets look great, the costumes look great, the characters are great. It's a small cast, it's only 4, it's called Cthulhu. They're all very good. It utilizes Roll20 rather than physical dice, which does help, I think, speed things up a bit. And the keeper is Mark Meer, not Matt Mercer, but Mark Meer, who does look very slightly similar to Matt Mercer in this, but is also incredible in his own good. And if you don't recognize that name, he is the voice of the male Commander Shepard from the Mass Effect series, which I don't know much about, but it's still very cool. And he's excellent, the characters are excellent. I'm 2 episodes in so far and really loving the story. And that's the kind of story I'd really love to see as like an investigative horror kind of TV show. Some Eldritch horror stuff I don't think translates quite so well, but this is much more kind of mystery with a dose of horror on the side, which at least so far I think would be really good. To be fair, it might even be a show that I particularly enjoy because it might be too much for me. I'm not a big fan of very horror-y stuff or particularly gory stuff, but I could see it being a lot of fun. Also ran a game a couple of years back called Dawnwood, which I definitely think could have worked as, again, kind of a serial, not serial, but like a detective kind of style Cthulhian show. And that syncs well into day number 11, RPG with well-supported one-shots. Call of Cthulhu. 7th edition, to clarify specifically. I have made a video on weekend one-shots about Call of Cthulhu Modern Era already. There's just a lot of great ones. You've got The Haunting, that's a classic already. As I mentioned, Stygian Fox do a lot of excellent one-shots that are set in the modern era. I recently have played a bit of Invictus, which is set in the Roman times, and I've just bought Dark Ages, but not played any of that yet. And that's got a session, a couple of scenarios in the back. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a one-shot, but it's a shorter adventure, and it's definitely, got an easy, superb beginning, middle, and end. You can just do so much with Call of Cthulhu, and there's so many like one-shot ideas you can do, because it's often people are going to go mad or die by the end, so it's fine. It's not like you've got these loose ends at the end of it, really, most of the time. So Call of Cthulhu, really well supported one-shots, I would say. Anything else good? Any good one-shots? I can think of plenty of things that have pretty good like campaign settings or adventures, but lots of well-supported one-shots. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is the one that comes to mind for that. Hey, which brings us to day number 12, actually, RPG with well-supported campaigns. Again, some Call of Cthulhu has some long good stuff against Stygian Fox. but I would have to say DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics. There are plenty of them. You can often get them at really good prices in PDF form. Not bad prices in book form, and they're always laid out pretty easily. They've got all the maps and things you need at the back. They've got quite an easy structure. They've got all the lore and context at the front in a way that makes sense and works, and I've always found quite easy to follow. Occasionally there's the odd little bit here and there that I'm like, I feel like I'm not quite understanding this, but for the most part they are well supported. They did one recently which is like the something of the spheres maybe, I can't quite remember, but it has like a map that moves and it looks very cool. I definitely look forward to playing that at some point in the future. I'm not there yet, but yeah, DCC's got lots of well supported stuff from the old DCC kind of before it became its like 2016 version. Again, I have done weekend one-shots on DCC too, and plenty of them from its new version. They're often a humble bundle or just doing their own offers. I've got so many of them, and again, that's why I run them quite a lot. But yeah, they're great. DCC, well supported campaigns, and not always long campaigns. Often, you know, they might only be like 3-4 sessions long. But hey, that's still like a campaign, I'd say, and what in terms of doing here, that is our whole narrative arc. So yeah, Dungeon Crawl Classics for me, though they are still, you know, kind of dungeony, but that's not really a problem on my end. And okay, our final one for today, the home stretch here, number 13, Evocative Environments. This is another very broad one, another very up in the air, what does it mean kind of thing. Does this mean an TTRPG that has lots of good descriptions of its environments, or a specific scenario, or a tool that is used to help you make evocative environments? I'm not really sure, to be completely honest. I'm not really sure. So I could say a few things. At the moment I've been running Abomination Vault in Pathfinder 2e, and a lot of that has some very interesting description, and the way that they've designed the dungeon and make it link together, and describe things that are in the dungeon that are there because of other things that have occurred is very interesting, and quite unique, and quite cool, and quite unsettling a lot of the time to the player characters. Again, some of the like weirder Call of Cthulhu one-shots, especially the Stygian Fox ones, have unique scenarios, like set in an abandoned fun fair or an old people's home. And they're kind of interesting and kind of creepy, but I don't exactly know if I'd say they're evocative. Yeah, I don't necessarily know. It might also be something that comes up more if you use campaign settings to give you some ideas and things, which I'm not a huge fan of. I have issue with following what other people say with like broader terms and things. So yeah, I'm really not sure beyond what I've said already. Yeah, Raging Swan Press has some really cool books full of all manner of descriptive items and things for literally everything, you know, tombs, towns, cities, treasures, chests, like everything. You can find a table and roll an idea for it, which can help you create an evocative environment. I've got a couple of those, and I've got, again, a lot of them. I've got the Dread Thing Nomnicon, I think, on PDF, and also it's going to be very helpful in making such environments. But yeah, not sure if that's really what that one means, but that's what we are going to go with, I think, at this time. So yeah, bit of a confusing, muddled one to leave us on, much like last time. But that's the 6. There we are. Well, there we go. Leave your comments below if you have any, or want to make your own list, or, you know, put your own list somewhere else with hashtag RPGaDAY2024, and I will see you next week for the next 6. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.